And good Sunday morning, we are tracking Hurricane Henri at 6 a.m. on this Sunday. The storm now heading straight for Block Island. It could also make landfall along the southern Rhode Island coast later today.
Here's a live look now. Narragansett, you can see the waves, the heights of those waves starting to build. Some of those traffic lights flashing down there right near the beach along the highway. I'm not sure if that's just a planned exercise because they are assuming the power might go out, or if that's just what goes on at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning as far as the traffic lights are concerned. But you were talking about landfall soon, and look at the size of some of those waves down there in Narragansett Town Beach.
Yeah, we are seeing the winds, the rain, everything you might imagine as we're preparing for this storm. We're actually seeing those outer bands moving in. We want to check in with meteorologist Michelle Muscatello because we're a little more than, 100 miles south of Providence right now, Michelle?
And the outer bands of this storm already being felt and moving onshore this morning. Latest information just in from the National Hurricane Center. This is still a Category 1 hurricane. The intensity of it pretty much unchanged overnight. It has 75-mile-per-hour sustained winds. It earlier in the night was moving at about 21 miles per hour. We've started to see that slowing down. It's still at 18 miles per hour for its movement northward, but we do expect a slowing in its forward speed as it approaches Block Island and the coast of Rhode Island. And here's the latest forecast track. You can see the center of the forecast expected now over Block Island in the early afternoon. So by 2 o'clock, we're expecting this to be over the mainland of Rhode Island, southwest Rhode Island, South County, as either a strong tropical storm or still a Category 1 hurricane. There's not going to be much difference as far as impacts go, whether this is declared a tropical storm at landfall or a hurricane. But what we do expect is that as it moves onshore, it will weaken, and that trend will continue as the storm gets pushed eastward early next week. So very slow movement with it. As far as any warnings or alerts go, there's only really one change, and that was to expand the tropical storm warning to include interior Bristol and the western parts of Plymouth County in the tropical storm warning. And we are seeing some of those gusty winds and heavy rainfall along the coastline and spreading inland as the center of the storm continues to spin towards the coastline right now. That north-northwest motion of the rain and the gusty winds will continue. And so you can see some of these downpours across South County right now. Winds are starting to pick up. These are sustained winds between 10 and 20 miles per hour. But we're seeing some gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour over Block Island, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and the wind speeds and wind gusts will continue to increase. So one thing that we've got our eye on for this morning is the approaching high tide. It's at 7:46 in Providence, 8:10 in Narragansett, Block Island, 8:11. So we'll be watching for any storm surge. We're more concerned about the evening high tide, especially because the storm track has shifted just slightly east and has slowed down just a little bit. Got a lot of details to get to on the forecast of the storm coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Michelle, thank you. We do have a team of reporters in place this morning. Kayla Fish is here with us, Kate Walsh, Courtney Carter. So we're going to have you covered in all corners of the state today. Yeah,
meteorologist Brittany Trumpy alongside Michelle as well in the Weather Center all morning long. Already starting to get rough out near the shore in Narragansett, as we showed you earlier. With the live picture, you can see the waves already churning up the waters down there. This is a video from a couple of hours ago.
Certainly Narragansett, an area to watch today. Officials are urging everyone to stay home today, especially if you live near the shoreline. Reporter Kayla Fish joining us live right along the shore in Narragansett, and you can see we're already looking stormy out there, Kayla.
Yeah, good morning, Danielle and Patrick. As Michelle mentioned, you can see on the radar the bands of wind and rain, and we can certainly feel that here this morning. This has been going on ever since we got here around 4:30. Some on and off wind and rain, and of course those big waves that always come with storms here along Ocean Drive in Narragansett. I'm going to step out of the way to give you a closer look at exactly what we're seeing this morning. Of course, these conditions are expected to worsen throughout the day, and normally, this area brings a lot of surfers, a lot of onlookers, people who want to check out the waves. Well, hopefully not today. The Parks and Rec director tells me that Narragansett Town Beach will be closed. The gates are locked, and surfers and onlookers will be turned away for safety reasons. That's because this storm is bringing with it that dangerous storm surge, the high risk of rip currents and those large dangerous waves. Even so, we saw people out here around 4:30 this morning trying to get a glimpse before it gets worse.
You can't prepare nothing that nature's going to take you. You just got to be ready for it.
Now again, state police are asking local police along coastal areas to restrict access along the coast to local access only in an effort to keep people away because these conditions are expected to worsen as the day goes on. We'll continue to update you live on the conditions as we see them here in Narragansett. But for now, live in Narragansett, I'm Kayla Fish, 12 News.
Kayla, thank you. City of New Bedford also taking precautions. They've closed down their beaches, Fort Tabor, and also passed by the water. They did that at about 8 last night.
12 News reporter Kate Walsh joins us now live by the hurricane barriers with the very latest on the conditions.